Hey everyone, welcome back to Not Another SEO Guru, because who needs another guru? Hey, today I want to talk about an issue that is very common in the implementation of schema. So one thing that I encounter very often is the question, what type of schema should I use on my homepage? Now this is something that is governed by a few things. So there's there's an understanding that local business and organization are generally reserved for the homepage. Now, this isn't always 100% the case, but in most cases, it's something that we adhere to. Local business is not generally used site-wide. You'll use other types of more specific schema for that. So, for instance, local business could be on your homepage, as it often is, and then inner pages could be a mix of things like web page, service, product, collection page, if it's the type of service page that is more of a collection of links that links inward to dedicated pages, which are then service, um, things like that, right? But in terms of local business, we often don't use local business because there are better versions of that which more closely match the category or the entity as it's defined in Google, which then makes that data connection uh, in a more meaningful way. So one thing that I will bring to your attention that you should be visiting on a regular basis if you do any sort of schema work is schema.org. So there's a lot of documentation, there's a lot of information that is very useful here. But essentially, when you are getting started with schema, and even for folks that have been around a long time like myself, we regularly come back to this resource because we want to always be aware of anything that has changed or updated, as well as learn about new opportunities or things that we might have other ways to utilize. So that goes into more of an advanced application. But for today, I want to show you how to better implement local business schema on your website in a more meaningful way than just the sort of plain vanilla implementation, especially that how plugins usually do it. So let's start by searching local business. Okay, so we're going to get a bunch of results here. So let's just click on the first one. And what you're going to get here is you're going to get a list of all of the different properties that can be contained in a local business schema template. But I'm going to skip over all of this. We will go through this in more detail in a different video when I show you how to craft the most ideal local business template, something that you can then use. And you can also use it with AI tools to very quickly fill in and complete. So this, gone are the days of doing a lot of this very tedious manual page by page work. Although even to this day, I still do that because I'm a big believer in fully controlling the data that goes into every line of your schema. Um, there are some tools which have gotten better at generating schema. One in particular from Jesper, Schema Writer, has been coming along very well. So kudos to those folks for sure. But if I come all the way to the bottom, what you're going to notice is there are more specific types. So where we look at this example is we start, for instance, with the actual business. So if I were to go onto Google Maps, and let's say our client is in the automotive industry. So let's just I'll just type in a random business that I know is in the area. How about Chilliwack Pro Auto Care? Just something random, but you can see auto repair shop is the primary category. And now I'm using the Plepper tool, part of Chrome, which also extracts any of the secondary categories. So you get a good example of the different types of definitions that are present within this Google business profile, but the primary is auto repair shop. So what we want to do in terms of local business is we don't want to just use local business on the homepage. We have an opportunity to utilize something that's more specific. And in this case, we would be looking here, automotive business. So as a default, if nothing else, I would be using automotive business. So all you do within the template is you replace the word local business with automotive business, and you spell it the same way. So capital A, capital B. Okay. But if you click on any of these definitions, often at the bottom of that definition, all the different pieces here, you get even more specific types. So this is where you can get even more really zeroed in on matching or coming as close as possible to the Google Business Profile category. So like I said, in this case, we have auto repair shop, and right here we have auto repair. So I would be using auto repair as the main local business category. Now, inside our mastermind, we teach how to intelligently insert multiple categories which support the overall entity and what's going on in this area here. And I am going to go through this in a later video. But the point of this video is to help you choose the right category that is more appropriate for your specific application. So in this case, and we can click on auto repair, and again, just make sure that there's like we kind of reached the end here. Now, if you are in a situation where it's a business that none of these really apply, you know, even nothing in a more generic way. Like let's say, I think a good example is medical business, and like I don't see chiropractor in this list. That there's some different modalities here that aren't listed. Um, in that case, we have a solution to that where you can still use local business as the top level category, but we would add 2 or 3 additional, which can be more specific, and they can also be more customized. But we'll leave that for another session. For today, I want you to just understand that you have the ability to utilize a much more specific type that is going to align with what you're saying in the Google business profile, what your entity has been declared to as Google understands it and has assigned what's called a machine ID. So that is this value. To reduce my screen here, this value here, this is something that they have assigned to this profile, which becomes part of your entity. It's what I call an entity element. So we want to be as close as possible in our definition to support what we're telling Google. And an easy way to do that is through being more specific with your schema type. So we're going to go deeper into what an actual ideal optimized template looks like, when you should use it, where you should use it. For local business, like I said, in most cases, it's going to be homepage only. But there are exceptions to that. Usually that's when you're dealing with multi-location, sometimes location page type of situation, departments within a larger business, that kind of thing. But we won't go into that today. So I hope that helps. Please subscribe. I'm going to be sharing a lot more content to really help clear up the confusion around schema and a lot of other SEO information that I'm really looking forward to sharing with you. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.